What if I told you the secret to building better habits isn't some new trendy life hack, but a law of physics from the 1600s? Yeah, I know it sounds a little out there, but stick with me, because it turns out a simple principle that governs the entire universe might just be the key to governing your daily routine.
You've definitely heard this before, right? Isaac Newton's first law of motion? It's classic high school physics. It's why a bowling ball keeps rolling, why a satellite keeps orbiting. But today, we're going to look at this law in a totally different way.
So, here it is, the big question. How on earth can a law about physical objects help you build a new habit, or stop procrastinating, or actually, do the things you say you're going to do? Well, the connection is way more direct than you think.
See, the thing is, this law doesn't just apply to planets and cannonballs. It applies to us, to people. You can almost think of it as a fundamental law for your life.
This is basically personal inertia. Think about it. If you're sitting on the couch, man, it takes a real effort to get up and go for that run. You are literally an object at rest. But if you're already 3 minutes into that run, it's so much easier to finish the mile, right? You've become an object in motion. The hardest part is almost always just getting started.
Okay, so if we all know that starting is the key, why is it so ridiculously hard sometimes? Well, let's break down the single biggest hurdle that we constantly, and I mean constantly, put in our own way.
It's kind of ironic, isn't it? That first blast of motivation, it actually becomes our worst enemy. We get all excited and set these huge, ambitious goals. I'm going to work out for an hour every single day. But that motivation, it always fades. And then we're just left staring at this massive goal that feels, well, totally daunting.
And this right here perfectly illustrates the all-or-nothing trap. We tell ourselves, I need a perfect 1-hour session for it to count. But what happens when real life gets in the way, and we only have, say, 40 minutes? We skip it. We choose 0 minutes over an imperfect but still really good 40 minutes. It's crazy.
So here's the crucial point. Our big goals create this giant wall of mental resistance. Just the thought of all that work stops us from taking that first step. Our brain is wired to find the path of least resistance, and in this case, that path leads right back to the couch.
But what if we could work with our brain's programming, instead of fighting it all the time? What if we can make the path of least resistance the one that actually moves us forward? Let's get to the solution. It's a simple little rule that helps us overcome that initial inertia.
And here it is, the 2-minute rule. The whole idea is to take whatever massive goal you have and just shrink it down into something so small, so laughably easy that your brain can't possibly say no. The starting ritual has to take less than 2 minutes. That's it.
Now, this is a really important and profound shift in how you think. You are no longer focused on the big outcome, running the marathon or writing the novel. Your only goal is to master the art of starting. That's the whole game. Just show up and get the ball rolling.
So what does this look like in the real world? Well, your goal to run 3 miles just becomes put on my running shoes. Your goal to become a writer becomes write 1 single sentence. See, the goal is so tiny there's almost no mental resistance to fight. You're just putting on your shoes. I mean, what's so hard about that?
Okay, so let's dive into why this little 2-minute start is so incredibly powerful. Because it's not really about the 2 minutes themselves. It's about what happens after those 2 minutes. That's where the magic is.
So when you start that super easy version, that huge wall of resistance, it just vanishes. And once you're in motion, once you've written that 1 sentence or put on those shoes, Newton's law takes over. An object in motion stays in motion. And when you do this over and over, you're literally building the neural pathways that make the behavior automatic.
Here's a perfect example. Someone wanted to learn piano, but just felt completely overwhelmed. So they applied the rule, just sit down and play anything for 2 minutes. And the magic was, once they were already sitting there, playing, it was almost effortless to just keep going for much longer. They were already in motion.
And we see the exact same thing with meditation. The commitment was just 2 tiny minutes. But guess what? More often than not, those 2 minutes would stretch into 20. Why? Because the hardest part was never the meditating itself. It was just getting yourself to sit down and start. Once that's done, the rest just flows.
So let's wrap this all up. This isn't about tricking yourself or anything like that. It's about working with your brain's natural tendencies instead of constantly fighting a battle you're probably going to lose.
This is the key mindset shift you have to make. Stop focusing on performance and start focusing on consistency. A new habit should not feel like a punishment. Those first 2 minutes have to be easy.
And remember our gym example? 40 minutes is infinitely better than 0. Imperfect, consistent action will always, always be perfect inaction.
And really, that's the bottom line, isn't it? You can dream all day about being a master pianist or a marathon runner, but you can't improve a habit that you haven't even started. The 2-minute rule is your tool to just lay the foundation, one tiny, easy action at a time.
So I'll leave you with a question, a challenge really. Forget about tomorrow or next week. Right now, what is one habit you want to build? And what's the 2-minute version you can do the second this is over? The power to get moving is right there, waiting for you in that tiny first step.